Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be going over the tropics, and unfortunately, we do not have anything calming down in the tropics because we actually do have a system heading towards the southeast, likely to bring showers and thunderstorms to those areas. And then we'll also be going over the severe weather threat for the next few days, and we'll also be going over future severe weather and as well as future flash flooding too as well. So we will really need to be watching the system right there, as you can see. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and as well as hit notifications so you guys are notified whenever I go live, but also stay tuned for more future weather updates. But like I said, we are watching this system very closely as it does get close to the southeast part of the United States. This one has a 50% chance of developing in the next 7 days and as well as the next 48 hours. Right now it's just, some showers and thunderstorms, so not really bringing much. This one isn't, strengthening as of right now, so I don't even think it will turn into anything as it does reach the coast, but I do at least think it will bring some gusty winds. We can't rule out some gusts up to 45 miles an hour, and then, we will need to also be watching for flooding, especially too, as it still has some very heavy rain with it. So if you live along the southeast, like northern Florida, back into Georgia, and as well as the Carolinas, make sure you are watching for flooding closely, as a system could nearly bring anything, including the potential for some power outages. So we will need to be watching that system closely. And then this system down here has a 60% chance of developing in the next 7 days and a 50% chance of developing in the next 48 hours. And this one is going into the exactly same environment that Alberta was in, which does give some agreement that we will indeed be seeing a tropical storm with this one. Just not yet, because it hasn't gotten into the ocean waters yet. It's still on land, but as it does get into there, this will likely, start to get its act together, kind of like how Alberto did. So if you guys live like northern Mexico and back into southern Texas, make sure you are watching extremely closely for more tropical storm force winds up to 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour, and as well as some flash flooding especially, and of course more storm surge. And I'm pretty sure you guys are still seeing those same impacts from Alberto as of right now. So we do need to still be watching for more of that as this system does get closer. Now let's go ahead and look at the severe weather threat. We're going to go ahead and go to day 1, which is today, and as you can see, we do have a huge area to watch for. We got a slight risk of severe weather heading from central Montana all the way down through Wyoming into Nebraska and all the way back into Wisconsin. This is a huge slight risk, by the way. So this is one area we do need to be watching closely. And then we got another slight risk of severe weather across portions here of the Four Corners region. So certainly another area that we will also need to be watching closely too as well. And if we look at the tornado threat, unfortunately, we do have a 2% risk for tornadoes across the Four Corners region, guys. This is rare, okay? We do not usually see tornadoes across this area right here. So if you do live in southeast Utah, back into southwest Colorado, and as well as northern Arizona, make sure you do have your tornado action plan in place just in case, because there can sometimes be tornadoes in this area. And I'm not saying this because you guys will see a tornado. I'm just saying this because I want you to be prepared just in case a tornado does drop down. I don't think you guys over here really know the rules about how a tornado warning works. So if you're wondering how that works, if a tornado warning gets issued, find shelter immediately. That means go to the most interior room of your home or building and find as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. a tornado shelter or the basement is the safest spot, but if you don't have either one, go on the main floor and go into the most interior room on that floor, and it must be in the central part of it. So that's how to take shelter whenever there's a tornado warning, and I'm just giving you guys a good idea because I don't think you guys know how to do a tornado warning, like I said, because tornadoes don't usually occur in this area. But we do also have some more areas to watch for. We got 2 more 5% risk for tornadoes across one. We got one over here from Wisconsin all the way into southeast South Dakota, and then we got another one across central Montana, which is pretty unfortunate for them as tornadoes are also kind of rare in that area. But I mean, Montana has seen like literally thousands of tornadoes in the past, so I think you guys at least understand a little bit about how to, have your action plan in place just in case a tornado does come. And if we look at the wind threat, we do have a 15% risk for damaging winds across both slight risk, and then hail threat, we do have a 15% risk for large hail across this area in Utah and as well as up here. And what's unfortunate for this area is that we do have a hatched risk for large hail up towards the central Montana region, meaning that 2-inch hail or greater is possible. So we will need to be watching that area very closely for the potential of very large hail. And then let's go ahead and look at tomorrow's threat. This is day 2, and as you can see, we do have another slight risk of severe weather heading from northern Missouri all the way up here toward Wisconsin. We do have a 2% risk for tornadoes across that area. This one also does extend into Michigan. Wind threat, we do have a 15% risk for damaging winds, and then hail threat, just a 5% risk for large hail as we do head into tomorrow. And then day 3, the reason why I was concerned about the dry areas is because you guys that have been dry for a long time, like the lower Ohio Valley heading into the mid-Atlantic and northeast, you guys will have the potential for severe weather as we do head into Sunday. And what's unfortunate about that, I know you guys really need the rain, but what's unfortunate is that you guys are always thinking that you're not going to see rain after how many days of rain you guys haven't seen yet. And it's also, very hard for the rain to soak into the soil, especially because it's very dry. So that's also a little bit unfortunate too, as we could see some rapid runoff, flooding from these storms. So, we will need to be watching this area for the potential of severe weather as we do head into Sunday. Like I said, I do think that there might be a tornado threat with this one. It just might not be, that big of a threat though, but we will have to see as we do head into Sunday. Now, let's go ahead and look at the total rainfall. That is from now all the way to July 1st, so we are actually getting into a little bit of July by now, as we are, almost finishing the month of June already. But we do have a very big area to watch for flash flooding, which includes this area right here. This is where we're going to have periods of flash flooding. So like this area right here is day 1, this area is day 2, this area is day 3, this area is day 4, and then this area is day 5. And I'll show you guys that as we look at the excessive rainfall outlook. But even across the southeast, we could see a ton of rainfall from that system, and that's exactly what the European model shows, is that we could be seeing about 7 inches of rainfall from that system that, like I said, is offshore and could, come in, but I don't think it will develop into a tropical depression or anything. But since the European model is showing that at least tells you guys that you need to be prepared for flash flooding across South Carolina, Georgia, and as well as Florida, as you guys could even see up to 5 inches of rainfall. So certainly something that we really do need to keep an eye on, especially as the system does head closer. Now, let's go ahead and look at the excessive rainfall outlook. And like I said, guys, we are, kind of seeing periods of rounds of flash flooding starting with day 1. And as you guys can see, there is a moderate risk for flash flooding right there across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, western Wisconsin, and southeast South Dakota. And like I said, that shifts off to the east, which is going to be for tomorrow. And then as you can see, that even shifts off more to the east, which includes Maine. And that's pretty much exactly what I draw as we were taking a look at those total rainfalls. But I also want to point out that we also do have a threat for flash flooding across east Utah back into southwest Colorado, and then all the way down into central New Mexico. So that is pretty unfortunate for them, as it's just unusual for them to see storms like this. But like I said, also watch for flash flooding too as well if you do live in that slight risk across the Four Corners region. And then we guys also will continue to see some flash flooding too, but we are also concerned about these areas starting to get on the rainfall too as well, after being somewhat dry the last few days. Now, something I am concerned about is that we may continue to stay dry, and I know we were at risk for severe weather for Sunday, but this is not for Sunday. This is as we do head into the beginning of July. This is from June 28th all the way to July 4th, so pretty much including Independence Day right there, and we're concerned about a drought developing as we do head into the beginning of July across this area. We got another area that we're watching too as well across the Ohio Valley, and then we're watching another area right here too as well that also could see some very dry conditions. Now let's go ahead and look at some future severe weather. We're not necessarily going to take a look at the supercell composite. We're actually going to look at CAPE, and the reason why I'm looking at this is because look how much CAPE there is. Look at that, 4,000 joules per kilogram, even some brief 5,000 joules per kilogram showing up, and then after that, as you can see, even some more rounds of that amount of CAPE look to come in. Like, look at that one right there, pretty widespread, heading from northern Iowa all the way down into New England, which will be for Independence Day, by the way. So we could get some storms on Independence Day, and then as you can see, all that CAPE continues to be, pretty impactful as it does, continue to go over the same areas. Now, here's something we are still watching, okay? I am very, very concerned about this, and this isn't to say that we will see this, but this is to say that there is a possibility of this happening, and this does include a derecho, because look, the reason why we're concerned about a potential derecho developing is because see how this thing kind of is shaped like a disorganized line of thunderstorms. If this thing can organize enough, as you can see, there at least is some CAPE to work with, so that's probably why it's not showing it that organized. But, if this thing that really does try to get its act together, this could very well, be a pretty big threat. And it does show it, moving through the lower Ohio Valley, heading in towards the New England area. And then after that, it actually does kind of show a little bit more organized line of thunderstorms as we do head into the first day of July. Look at that. That thing looks a little bit more organized than it did. That is a pretty big line of storms right there, and I probably made my drawing too big, but yeah, like I said, that is a pretty big looking organized line of storms right there, already getting ready to move to the lower Ohio Valley and then eventually heading out. So that's something we are going to be watching for as we do head closer, is a derecho. This looks to be the potential as we do head into the late part of June and into the beginning of July, and then after that things remain very uncertain by this point, but we will still need to be watching closely. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I did do a winter forecast yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I also realized my voice might sound a little bit weird on that one. I didn't realize I had my mic gain turned up quite a bit with that one, but if you guys want to watch it, you guys certainly can, and I will pretty much be talking about all those historic winters and things like that in that video. So if you guys want to watch that video, you guys can go ahead and click on it as of right now, and also don't forget to like, subscribe, and as well as hit that notification button, and that's because if you guys hit that notification button, you'll be notified for whenever I do go live. So if you guys do like my live streams, make sure to click that notification button down below so you're notified whenever I go live, like I said. And then also comment down below if you have any questions or things to ask. You guys can even ask things about this winter if you want to. So if you guys have any questions, or if you just want to comment something, please comment down below, and we will continue to keep you guys updated on all this crazy weather.